Hello, my name is Hannah Hurdle, and I'm the Library eLearning Specialist at Ottenheimer Library. And this is your asynchronous library instruction class on searching basics. So we have two different learning outcomes for this library instruction class. By the end of class, you'll be able to locate different types of material using the library search tool, as well as recognize how to use limiters in order to find resources. So the plan for today, I'm going to cover some library resources, and then I'll show you actually how to access some of those resources on the library's website. I'll have some discussion on library search engines versus internet search engines. I'll do a walkthrough of the library search tool. There is a worksheet activity that if your professor can decide if it's optional or not. There'll be some discussion / debriefing. So this is just a way for you to reflect on what was covered in the class, to do some self-assessment, and then questions. I have some contact information at the end of this class. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me with those. So definitions, I have two different definitions. This is just to kind of get everybody on the same page so that you are familiar with some of the terms I might use throughout this class. So research is just looking for information on a topic that will help you prove a claim. And a discovery tool or search tool is a digital library tool that searches sources available both via the library catalog and via subscription databases from one search box. So library resources for students. We have mobile printing in the library, so you can download an app on your phone and print straight from your phone, or you can use the printers and computers in the library. You have two different options. You have Meet with a Librarian. So this is where you can request an individual or group consultation. So if you need help finding resources for a paper project, or you just need help conducting basic research, this is a great service that we provide for students. We have streaming video. So we have two different streaming services, Canopy and Academic Video Online, or Avon, which you can find under databases A through Z on the library's website. We have laptops, headsets, earbuds, and charging cables that you can check out for library use. We have our research guides. Some of these are geared towards specific courses and some are geared towards specific topics, but these are just a great place if you don't know where to start. You can go to the research guides, and it's just like a compilation of a bunch of different resources related to a particular course or subject or topic. And then we also have Interlibrary Loan. So this is a service where you, if you need access to an article or a book that UALR doesn't have, you can fill out an interlibrary loan form, and librarians at Ottenheimer Library will reach out to other libraries and get that resource for you and bring it to UALR for you to access. So library searching versus online searching. Both need keywords or search terms to help find results. It's a pretty similar process. Searching a library can be a little intimidating for some students when you first start out searching in a library, but it's very similar to searching on Amazon, Urban Outfitters, Target, any online store. So for example, I like to use, say you're searching on Amazon and you are looking for a toy for your dog, and you say you have a golden retriever. So you might use keywords like durable, blue, if you want a specific color, squeaky, toy, etc. So you're just going to come up with keywords to try to generate results for the type of toy that you want for your dog. Well, if you're searching in a library, say you are in a marketing class and you're searching for marketing, digital, mental health, and anxiety are some of the keywords you might use to create a search that will bring up relevant results. Databases use limiters, like Amazon uses filters. So again, for that Amazon search, you might use the color filter to limit to blue toys. You might use the price filter if you don't want to pay, say, more than $10 for the toy. Well, in a database or in the library, you might use the date filter or the resource type filter or the peer-reviewed journals filter to get articles or other material that's relevant to your search. Basically, for Amazon and in the library, everything you do is just helping you narrow down your results to be relevant to the search that you're doing. So searching in the library, you go to ulr.edu/library, which is the library's homepage. And I'm going to do an actual walkthrough in a second. When you do your search, some topics will have like this little about the topic overview, and all your results will be listed underneath. And then on the left, you have all your filters or limiters. Some of the resources we have articles, books, ebooks, newspaper articles, book reviews, book chapters, there's videos, there's a bunch of different material types. I'm going to exit out of the PowerPoint for now. Like I said, doing a walk through the library's database, and not the library's website, and searching the library. Again, you go to ualr.edu/library. Before I do a search, I just want to go over some of the resources that I mentioned before. So you go to this Need Help button. This is where you can access that one-on-one research consultation link or group consultation. And you just fill out this form, and it'll take you, when you submit it, it'll take you to a more detailed form where you can put like the specific assignment you're working on, the types of resources you need, specific dates and times. The more dates and times that you list, the more likely there's going to be a librarian who can meet with you. And the response time is usually pretty fast. So say you submit this form on a Tuesday morning, you're more likely not going to have somebody respond by Tuesday afternoon or the next day. So it's usually a pretty quick response time. We also have our library chat and submit an email question. If you have a question that's after the library's closed or on the weekend when the library's closed on Saturdays, submit an email question, because the library chat outside of operating hours turns off. So you're going to want to submit that email question. But during operating hours, either of these are fine. We have a phone number for the library. We have a text message number that you can text. You can also access library hours from here. So you have a calendar for all of our operating hours, and this will include like holidays that were closed as well. Here. So here you can access those research guides that I mentioned in a library loan. If you go to databases A through Z, this is where you can access the streaming services. So Canopy or Academic Video Online, Avon, so where you can access those. You go to laptops and more. This is where you can get information about the headsets, laptops, charging cables, calculators, all of that stuff that you can check out in the library. If you need a laptop for the entire semester, you can access the Care Teams link, and you can request a laptop that you can use for the entire semester. This talks about some of our study rooms. So we do have group study rooms on the first floor, and then individual study rooms on the fourth floor. And those are first come, first serve. And the last thing is we have COVID-19 updates. So if you want to know like what the library is doing in regards to COVID-19, we have a bunch of information here as well. So now I'm just going to do a search. And this is what we call, this one little search box is what we call our simple search. It can take a second to load. So if your filters don't appear on the side, what you can do is you can just refresh your page. It doesn't do it for everyone. So, but yeah, if they don't appear, just refresh the page. And like I said, we'll have a little topic about the topic overview. I have all my search results. For the filters, there's some things that you need to know. So I'm going to come down to resource type. Say I want to limit to articles and books. I don't want to just click on the blacked out word, because it's just going to apply articles. And if I scroll back down, that resource type limiter is gone. So I have to come up here, exit out of that filter, come back down, go back to resource types, and you need to make sure that you're clicking the little checkbox, because that allows you to apply more filters. I'm going to apply those filters. So say I limited to articles and books, but I want something that's more specific than just marketing. So I'm going to do another search and add another keyword. So now if you look over here, you're going to notice that the article and book filters that I added are gone. So to make sure that your filters are being applied to every single new search that you do, come back down to resource type, articles, books. I'm going to apply those filters. And then I'm going to come up to the white filters. Going to go over the little lock icon. It says make this filter persistent throughout the session. I'm going to click on it and it's going to turn from white to yellow. And you're going to be able to see that little lock symbol. And now, if I do a new search with new keywords, those filters are going to be applied throughout the entire searching session. And if I want to remove it, I can just reset all my filters, or you can just click on that little X by the filter. So let's just limit to articles, apply that filter. Some other things to note. So we have peer reviewed. So if you want specifically peer reviewed article, you want to find one that has this little I in book icon that says peer reviewed by it. We do have articles that aren't peer reviewed, so like this one, Could Silence Be Marketing Gold? It's not peer reviewed because it doesn't have that little I in book icon. So this isn't a peer reviewed article. So it's just something to make note of when you're searching. And we do have a peer reviewed journal specific limiter. So you can apply that. If I go into an article, I have some different options. I have related reading. So these are articles that library system, which is called Primo, thinks are relevant or related to the article that you're currently looking at. You have a citation tool. So MLA, APA, Chicago, and Harvard. You don't want to remember to check citations for accuracy for including them in your work, because they're usually correct, but sometimes they might have the author's name in all caps. Something might be italicized when it's not supposed to be, and that might not include page numbers. So just checking it against something like Al Purdue is always a good idea. You can print it out. You can email it to yourself. You can save the permalink. You don't want to copy and paste the link up top, the URL. You want to make sure that you copy and paste this permalink. If you want to just save a link to an article instead of emailing it to yourself or something like that. You have different options about where you can view the article. And if you go to one of these links, that's where you can download the resource as a PDF. And then also in the metadata, we have a little description of the article as well. And also, if you want to find sources cited in this, you can view other articles that have cited this specific source. So I'm going to reset those filters. And I also want to highlight books. So if you look in this list, you just are limiting to books. So this includes physical books and ebooks. So I'm going to apply that filter. I'm going to make it persistent. And I'm going to just do a search on marketing. So if it's an ebook, it's just going to say that it's available online. And if I go to the book, you do have to log in to actually view the resources. And this is just your email and password that you use for everything at UALR. So here you can read the book online, or you can download the book and download PDF chapters as well. And most of them will give you these options. Most ebooks will give you this option. So that is an ebook. For a physical book, it's going to say available at Ottenheimer Library, the specific floor it's on, and then it has that call number. Then if you actually click on the book, it'll tell you if the book's available, how many copies the library has, and if it's been requested or not. And for books, like an article has the relating on the side, books have it down here at the bottom. So one other thing is, so we do have that peer review little icon. Actually, let's go ahead and limit back to articles. So we have that peer reviewed icon. We also have the open access icon, which is like this little lock. This journal is available via open access. So if it says open access, this might not necessarily be something that the library has within our holdings, but it's something that we've, like a journal that we found online, an article that the library thinks is a credible source, that we've also pulled open access resources into the library system as well. So that's just what open access means. The last little thing that you can do, or I'm going to show you that you can do, is that you can add items to your favorites. So if you click this little push pin, you can add the item. And if you come up here, you can go to my favorites. And then you can see everything you've added to your favorites. So I have 82 items. If you want to remove something of your favorites, you can just click remove and then remove it. You can add labels to help organize things. So say you're looking for resources for a specific class, a specific project, adding labels can help you organize everything. So to add a label, you literally just click the little pin icon, and you can go ahead and either add it to an existing label, or you can type in a new label and then just click enter, and it'll apply that label. So like I'm currently looking at 81 items. I could go to the controversial issues class, and now I just have 13 items. That's just one way that you can organize everything in the library system. And when you log into the library, like I did when I showed you the ebook, it automatically logs you in. So it's going to save all of this stuff. So you don't have to worry about like creating another account or anything. So last thing I want to go over is the one we'll search for, like I said, is the simple search. You can do the search everything, a journal search, or a database search. Or you can come over here and do an advanced search, which is everything library catalog, archive, articles, or course reserves. And here you have more options. When you're first starting out, I suggest leaving contains as is, leaving the Boolean operator as and. If you don't have something you're specifically looking for, I say just leave any field as is. If you do have a specific article or author that you're looking for, then you can switch to title or author/creator. But if you're just looking in general, I would just leave it as is. It's the digital marketing, mental health. I can limit to a specific material type, language, dates, and it just says any field contains digital marketing and any field contains mental health. You can do search. I could also add a new line if I had more keywords that I wanted to use. One thing to note is since I limited to material types up here, if I come down to resource type, it's only going to limit to articles. So if I want it to be everything, I have to come back up here, do the search again. And then if I come down to resource type, I have all those options again. One other thing to note is that say I'd applied filters doing the simple search, which is just that one search bar, and they were still up here, like I could still see them, like I had limited to articles and books and peer-reviewed journals, and then I'd done this search, it might tell me that I don't have any results because I'd applied filters down here. So I would need to make sure that I clear my filters here in the simple search before I came up here and did the advanced search, because it is going to mess up what kind of results that you get. So that is searching in the library. Let me pull back up PowerPoint. So there is a group activity, a worksheet that I sent to your professor. I don't know if she'll make it optional or not, but if you do the worksheet, the breakdown of the worksheet is you're just going to search for an ebook like I did, a physical book, and an article. You're going to determine how to save your resource, and then you're going to pick a citation style. So it's pretty straightforward. And you're just going to be doing what I did in my walkthrough. After you do the group activity, well, this is what the worksheet looks like. Like I said, this is just a breakdown of it. There's some discussion in debriefing. So these are just questions that you can think about, some kind of like self-assessment that you can do. So you can think about if you've had an experience searching a library database before, was this experience similar or was it different? How so? Do you feel more prepared to search for sources in the library's database for future assignments? And then a sub-question is, what skills did you learn that make you feel more confident? So these things are just, you can consider yourself. You don't have to submit anything. This is just for self-assessment. And then lastly, here's my contact information, my email, and my work number in the library. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope this video was helpful and now you feel more comfortable searching in the library.